Hey everyone, so I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm barely editing this video. I just need to get this out there as soon as possible and talk to you guys. So, because I don't want you making mistakes at this junction of the business cycle. Now, most people on this YouTube channel probably don't know, since my channel is pretty small, that I also have a TikTok channel where I have been talking about precious metals for the last 2 months or so pretty extensively. Now, I was warning people that the current parabolic moves in precious metals were not going to last, that, getting in and FOMOing at current levels was going to financially ruin people. And I was telling people this at, $80 silver, $90 silver, $100 silver, $110 silver, $115 silver, and that's exactly what happened on Friday. Silver was as low as 33% down in a single trading day, while gold was almost down 20% as well. Platinum did like minus 19%, and so on and so forth. Now, was I trying to top the market in precious metals? Well, counter to what all the TikTok comments were saying, no, I wasn't. You can actually watch all of my TikToks on my YouTube shorts. They're copy-pasted content from my TikTok page, and I was simply telling people that when parabolic moves arise like they just did in precious metals, it was a horrible risk-to-reward ratio to get in at these prices, and that the trend was, no longer your friend, but actually a carrot being dangled in front of your face to inevitably draw you to the edge of the cliff. Now, you might get lucky, and the parabola may continue, and you can make a few quick bucks, but more times than not, you're gonna get burned. I started mentioning this frothy market, like I said, at $80 an ounce silver price. Price continued to climb to $90, $100, $110, and almost $120 an ounce. And the precious metals bugs were cocky, to say the least. They reminded me every single dollar that silver rose. They left a comment that I was wrong. It went higher than I expected. That little Bitcoin boy over there is in way over his head, that I was just sour and upset that I missed the precious metals run of a lifetime. Funny enough, I actually bought physical silver in 2019 and 2020 when prices were like $15, $10 an ounce, and sold it for a decent 3, 4, 500% profit. And then Friday happened, where silver dumped almost 16% before the market even opened. Rebounded slightly into like the 90s with a final gasp for breath, and came thundering right back down into the 80s and 70s. And as if silver was a meme coin where 90% of the supply was just rugged by the dev. Moves like this don't happen in precious metals. And so it is definitely concerning, but to say it came out of nowhere is being blind at best and disingenuous at worst. Parabolas and mania happen in markets all the time, and they all end the exact same way. Some parabolas continue higher for longer, some are shorter lived, but they all end the same: blood red, with massive retracements, sucking the amateur investors in at the top and grinding their portfolios down to nothing at the bottom. We have to remember that when it comes to precious metals, the entire goal, and I mean the entire goal of this asset class, is to hedge against inflation, not outpace it. That's what Bitcoin's for. You're not creating wealth with precious metals. You're just keeping up with inflation long term. You're using it to be a store of value where your money doesn't erode over time. And that's not what gold and silver were doing. They were acting like tech stocks and meme coins and crypto. Now, was it because gold and silver had to play catch up from all the years before of underperforming inflation? Who knows? Anybody's guess is as good as mine as to why it went parabolic like that. Now, is this all to say that gold and silver will never go up again and that was the extreme top? No, definitely not. If money continues to be debased, as we're seeing currently around the world, these assets will continue to climb long term. I personally think gold has a better chance than silver to continue higher, because if you look at any historical chart in silver's history, it has gone parabolic several times, and each and every single time, without fail, it hasn't sustained any of those rallies. Most times crashing back 80-90% before the dust is settled. But again, remember, precious metals aren't a speculative asset. They are conservative stores of value, meant to just keep up with inflation and conserve your purchasing power through the good and through the bad. Now, once you start seeing precious metals go parabolic like this, and putting insanely in speculative asset classes like crypto to shame, it will be short-lived. Because again, that's not what precious metals do. Their function is not to make you money. Their function is to preserve the money and purchasing power you already have. Now, does this mean I don't like gold or silver or other precious metals? No, not at all. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I don't care if the asset class is stocks, precious metals, AI, crypto, bonds, whatever, you name it. When it goes parabolic, the move is never sustained. Normalcy returns, and with normalcy comes a tsunami of portfolio corpses that, thought they had the system figured out at the top. A new class of bag holders are born who learned from the cardinal sin of investing, to never FOMO. Now, remember, if you like this type of content, go ahead and leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me and the algorithm. Now, what happened here is a cautionary tale to investors, regardless of what your asset class of choice is. You buy when there is blood in the streets, when everyone is cursing the asset class, when the discounts are so severe, you question whether what you're investing in actually has legs, or if everyone is actually right and it's a full-on scam. Now, when everyone is acting like they are the first genius to discover this great trade, when it feels like everyone is making money, and that's what I am doing and documenting week by week on this channel, how to invest effectively, how to reach financial freedom before you turn old and frail and have no use for that money anymore. And trust me when I say this, you will never reach that goal by buying what the talk of the town is at the current moment. I've been buying crypto since 2022 in this business cycle. And at this point in the cycle, most investors in crypto are so worn down. Patience has been completely worn thin. And at the absolute worst time possible, some even rotated 30 to 70% portfolio losses in crypto, took the realized loss and moved into precious metals to just get rugged at the very top and take another 30% haircut in one trading session. Talk about lighting your money on fire. Now, if you have a plan in investing, stick to it, regardless of what the rest of the market is doing, regardless of what the rest of the people are, talking about every single day. If you just continue to chase the current shiny thing in the market, you will continually be disappointed and wrecked time after time after time. Stick to your thesis. Do not stray away from it. And unfortunately, a lot of newcomers to the space just learned this the hard way with precious metals. But hey, if you bought silver and gold way back in 2019 and 2020 like I did, congrats, you're still up considerably. That's amazing, and I'm super happy for you. You held your beliefs, you stuck to your thesis, and you have been rewarded. Congrats. But everyone who piled into this new shiny new trend in the last week or two have just gotten slaughtered. And hopefully this is the first and last time it happens to them. So is it inexperience? Is it excessive noise on social media confusing people? Well, you could say it's all of those things, but the common denominator behind all the people who just got by precious metals is ego. Ego kills more portfolios than you can imagine. You have to be level-headed, you have to be mechanical. You have to know when the data lines up and when it no longer does. Take your profits and cut your losses. And please stop creating all of these narratives to make you feel cozy about your investment, to make you hold longer than you should. Nothing changes narrative like price. I'm going to say that again. Nothing changes narrative like price. When gold and silver are going up, it's because nation states are piling precious metals and China is hoarding silver and canceling exports of silver. But when it crashes, oh, it's just a dip. Don't worry, it's going to go back up. It's manipulation, blah, blah, blah. You keep feeding yourself with reasons to stay in the trade when you should be heading for the exits, realizing that the crop has been harvested. And the only thing left to harvest on the field is you. Now, I made my money in silver. I'll be the first to admit I got out early at $50, $60, and $70 per ounce. I missed almost 50% of the parabolic move, but I don't care because I made realized profits, realized money. I got out before everyone rushed for the exits. That's all that matters. You are in a competition with yourself, not against everyone on social media. You are running your own race. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy, and constantly comparing and trying to come out on top for some social media ego points and likes will likely destroy you and make this game stressful and unbearable long term. Money is made when markets are beat down and bloody and when it looks like you're on the edge of financial Armageddon. Take a look at crypto right now. Crypto just dunked like 40% in a month or two, right? Like, this is when you should be buying crypto, not precious metals when they're at all-time highs. Your ego makes you think you're the wolf, but in reality, you're just the next happy pig in line at the bacon factory. So keep the ego in check. Stay frosty. You know that when you see parabolic moves, to start heading for the exits. Regardless of whatever narrative your favorite influencer tells you. And at the end of the day, you will never, ever catch the absolute top in a market trend. You never will. Stop trying to do that. Stop stroking the ego, thinking you'll squeeze the trade to the very end for the very last drop of juice. You never will. You never will. And anyone telling you they do it time and time again are lying to you. So take your singles, take your doubles, triples, and occasional home runs and compound them to live another day, to trade and invest another day, instead of constantly putting all your eggs in one basket to hit the grand slam. So leave me a comment down below to let me know what your experience was with this precious metals mania. And as always, if you have stuck around this long, go ahead and catch another one of my videos right over here, or check out my channel over here, where you can take a look at all the other content I have to offer about investing and my personal investing journey. And that's all for me today. I'm Patrick with Apex Wealth Collective. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.